You know the scene, quiet room, phone in your hand, staring at the screen like it holds your worth, checking if she texted back, rereading old messages like maybe you missed some hidden clue, wondering if you should wait, or double text, or walk away. Brother, let me hit you with the truth most men avoid. If she's into you, you'll know. Women are clear when they care, they show up, they respond, they make space for you in their life without you having to beg for it. If you're sitting in confusion, if you're stuck overthinking, if you feel like you're chasing her shadow, it's because she has already let go. Confusion is not connection. Uncertainty is not love. Silence is not respect. Stop waiting for a sign. This is your sign. A grounded man doesn't wait around hoping to be chosen. He chooses himself. Wake up, stand up, and remember who the hell you are. In this video, I'm breaking down 3 clear, undeniable signs that she's into you. Not signs you hope for, not signs you have to overthink or chase. Real signs, the kind a feminine, mature woman shows when she's drawn to a grounded, masculine man. No games, no confusion, no second-guessing. Weak men miss these signs every damn day. They waste their time. They lose their frame. They stay stuck chasing women who are never serious. That won't be you. Watch closely. Learn the signs. Live by them. And if this hits home, drop it in the comments. I protect my peace, because that's what real men do. Number 1, she respects your time. There's a slow kind of death most men don't talk about. It doesn't happen in one big dramatic moment. It happens quietly, in small ways. A late reply, a cancelled plan, a phone screen lighting up. But it's never her. And you sit there convincing yourself this is normal. She's just busy. She'll text back soon. She didn't mean to flake. It happens. But deep down, you know, you feel it in your gut. This isn't how respect looks. This isn't how interest feels. This isn't how love moves. See, every man who's been through it learns the hard way. When a woman values you, truly values you, she values your time like it's gold. She protects it. She honors it. She wants to be in it, because that's what people do when they care. They show up. But here's the thing most men get wrong, and it's brutal to admit. It's not her fault for wasting your time. It's yours. It's yours for allowing it. It's yours for excusing it. It's yours for staying when everything about her actions says, "You're not my priority." And I say this to you not to shame you, but to wake you up. Because I've been that man. I've waited around, I've made excuses, I've looked at my phone like it was oxygen, desperate for a sign that I mattered. It's a hollow place to live. It drains your strength. It weakens your masculine frame. And worst of all, it trains you to betray yourself. Every time you accept disrespect, every time you tolerate flakiness, every time you sit in that space of maybe next time, you're teaching yourself one thing: I am not worth more than this. But you are. You always were. You just forgot. See, a grounded man knows this truth like it's carved in stone. Your time is your life, not a resource to be wasted, not a gift to be thrown around, not a bargaining chip in some emotional casino. Your time is sacred. And it's not given to people who can't even respect the simplest currency of love, showing up. A woman who's into you doesn't make you chase breadcrumbs. She doesn't leave you guessing. She doesn't treat your attention like it's disposable. That's what immature people do. That's what emotionally unavailable people do. That's what people do when they want the benefits of your presence, without the commitment of respect. Let me say this as clearly as I can. Disrespect of your time is disrespect of you. Period. No story. No excuse. No maybe. She's just busy narrative. Life is busy. But people make time for what matters. Always. Don't. Let loneliness rewrite that truth for you. Don't let your hunger for connection blind you to the reality of her actions. Because here's the trap. It never starts with big things. It's always small. A missed text, a vague plan, a last-minute cancel, and if you accept it, as it grows, what starts as a late reply becomes ghosting. What starts as one cancelled date becomes emotional distance. And before you know it, you've built a relationship in your head with a woman who never showed up in real life. This is why the stoic man, the grounded man, moves different. He doesn't beg, he doesn't chase, he doesn't try to convince anyone of his worth. His time speaks for him. His presence is a privilege. And if someone treats it like an afterthought, he moves on. Not in anger, not in bitterness, but with peace, because his life is already full, his mission is already clear, and any woman who enters his world is walking into something valuable, something structured, something sacred. That's why men like this don't lose sleep over people who flake. That's why men like this don't waste hours overanalyzing texts. That's why men like this don't tolerate disrespect. Not because they're cold, but because they're clear. And clarity is a superpower most men have forgotten. Brother, listen to me. If she respects you, she respects your time. Simple. She shows up, she's on time, she communicates, and if she can't do that, you don't chase her, you don't lower your standard, you don't beg for scraps at a table you built. You stand up, you push your chair back, and you walk away with peace in your heart, because a man who knows his worth doesn't fear being alone. He fears betraying himself. Let that be your standard. Let that be your code. Remember this: your time is your kingdom. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. There comes a moment in every man's life when he has to decide who the hell he really is, not who he wants to be, not who he talks about being, but who he is when nobody's watching. And that moment usually shows up right after a woman disrespects his time, right after she cancels plans like it's nothing, right after she shows up late like you don't have a life of your own, right after she hits you with that dry little "sorry, got busy" text like your hours. Your presence, your energy are disposable. That's the test. Not her test of you, your test of yourself. Because I'll tell you something most men don't want to hear. How you respond in that moment tells the world exactly what you think about yourself. See, weak men, hungry men, desperate men, they let it slide, they chase, they text no worries. When they're dying inside, they clear their schedule again. They wait around like a loyal dog, hoping to get patted on the head for being understanding. And sure, on the surface it looks nice, it looks patient, it looks easygoing, it looks mature, but underneath, it's weakness, it's fear. It's a man betraying himself in real time because he's terrified to lose her. But here's the truth every grounded man knows. A woman's respect is never earned by bending over backwards. It's earned by standing tall, by setting the standard, by living in such a way that says, "This is who I am. This is what I allow. And if you can't meet me here, that's fine, but I'll be walking forward with or without you." That's power. That's self-respect. That's what a stoic man carries into every relationship. See, we don't control how people act. We don't control if she cancels. We don't control if she flakes. We don't control if she forgets to call, forgets to care, forgets to show up. But we control one thing. We control how long we stay. In the presence of disrespect, and brother, that's the line most men refuse to draw, because drawing that line means walking away. It means being alone. It means sitting with yourself. It means facing that quiet fear that maybe she was your only chance. Maybe you'll never find someone else. Maybe you'll be lonely forever. But here's the Stoic truth. A man who respects himself first is never lonely. He might be alone, but never lonely, because he enjoys his own company. He honors his own time. He protects his own peace. And that's what makes him rare. That's what makes him unshakable. That's what makes a woman actually respect him. Not because he begged for it, not because he performed for it, not because he was the nice guy who tolerated everything hoping to win her over, but because he set the standard and stuck to it. If she cancels once, life happens. But if she cancels twice, she's showing you her pattern. Believe it. Step back. Don't send a long text about how disappointed you are. Don't pour your heart out trying to explain how valuable your time is. She already knows. She just doesn't care enough. And that's all the clarity you need. If she shows up late with no respect, if she makes a habit of treating your plans like an option, you don't raise your voice. You raise your standard. You move forward with your life. Calm, clear, unbothered, because the grounded man, the Stoic man, isn't here to babysit someone's immaturity. He's not here to teach basic respect. He's not here to convince anyone that his time is valuable. He already knows it is, and he moves like it, and the world responds too. That women respond to that. Real ones, anyway, because a woman with depth, a woman with class, a woman who knows the value of a real man. She doesn't play games. She doesn't disrespect time. She sees the way you carry yourself, and she matches that energy. That's how masculine and feminine energy flow together. Not through force, not through begging, but through alignment, through mutual respect, through both people knowing their worth and acting like it. So let me leave you with this. When you set the standard, some people will leave. Let them. When you respect your time, some women won't stay. Let them go. You're not here to collect bodies. You're not here to win a popularity contest. You're here to build a life so full, so grounded, so peaceful that anyone who disrespects your time disqualifies themselves. Simple. This is the way of the grounded man. This is the way of the Stoic. And this is the code you live by from now on. A man who respects himself never has to explain why. He just moves on, and peace follows him everywhere he goes. Number 2, she invests emotionally. Most men don't see it happening. It sneaks up on them, not in the loud moments, but in the quiet ones. You're sitting there, texting her, asking the questions, keeping the conversation alive, carrying the weight of every interaction on your back like some emotional pack mule. And at first, it feels normal. You tell yourself it's just how things are in the beginning. She's shy, she's guarded, she's been hurt before. So you double down, you send the good morning text, you ask about her day, you share a story, a joke, something personal. You try to build connection, but it feels one-sided. It feels like work, like you're holding this thing together with duct tape and hope. And maybe, just maybe, one day she'll finally open up. Maybe she'll finally see how patient you've been. How loyal, how understanding, brother. Let me break it to you real slow. That day isn't coming. Because a woman who is into you doesn't need convincing. She doesn't need 100 icebreaker texts to warm up to you. She doesn't need a man bending over backwards proving he's safe. She wants to share. She wants to talk. She wants to bring you into her world. Because when a woman respects you, when she feels drawn to you, she wants connection as much as you do. She's not stingy with her words. She's not afraid to be seen. She shares her stories, her fears, her dreams, her past, her hopes, not because you pulled it out of her like a dentist yanking teeth, but because you earned it just by being steady, just by being real. But here's where men break their own hearts. They take emotional, closed-off behavior as a challenge, as if their job is to become her therapist, as if they need to prove their value by staying longer than every man before them. And that's where you lose your power. That's where you stop being the grounded man and start becoming the emotional janitor, cleaning up after her silence, trying to fix what isn't yours to fix. Let me tell you something nobody told me when I needed it most. If you're the only one carrying the conversation, you're not building a relationship. You're hosting a podcast. She's not listening because she cares. She's listening because it's easy, because you're doing all the work, because your need for connection outweighs your need for self-respect. That's the trap. And it's not love. It's labor. It's performance, and sooner or later it will drain you dry, because real connection isn't forced. It flows. It feels effortless. It's a rhythm, a back and forth, a natural exchange, like breathing. It doesn't need to be pried open with effort. It doesn't need to be dragged out with strategy. It happens because both people want to be there. Both people want to share. Both people want to build something real. This is where the Stoic mindset changes everything, because the grounded man, he's not afraid of silence. He doesn't fill the empty space with cheap words just to feel connected. He lets the space speak. He watches. He observes. He gives her the chance to show up, not just physically, but emotionally. If she doesn't, he doesn't panic. He doesn't double down. He doesn't start tap dancing for attention. He steps back, not in anger, not in manipulation, but in clarity, because he knows one thing: the right woman meets him halfway, every time, without being asked, without being begged, without being convinced. It's not about trauma dumping. It's not about spilling your soul on the first date. It's about emotional presence. It's about effort. It's about her wanting to be seen and wanting to see you. And if that's not there, you don't try harder. You don't text more. You don't send another good morning into the void. You move on because you know your worth, because you know that silence speaks louder than any words. And if her silence keeps screaming, "I don't care enough to invest," believe it. Because here's the truth men forget. A woman's words are cheap if her actions don't match. And conversation, without emotional investment, is noise. Empty, hollow, forgettable. A man who values himself doesn't chase words. He watches behavior. He feels energy. He trusts patterns. And he lets go of anything that forces him out of alignment with his peace. Let me leave you with this. A woman who values you won't let you do all the work. She won't let you carry the connection on your back. She won't watch you pour yourself out while she sits in silence. She will meet you where you stand, or she won't be standing beside you at all. Remember this: if you're always the one reaching, you're standing alone. Step back, stand still. And let the real ones find you, because a grounded man doesn't chase love. He attracts it by living in truth, by standing in peace, by walking in quiet strength, always. There's a moment every man faces. It's quiet, subtle, almost invisible, but it's there, that split-second decision. When the conversation starts to feel like a chore, when every text feels like an uphill battle, when you catch yourself rereading what you sent, tweaking your words, wondering if you're too much or not enough, and deep down, something twists in your gut, you know. You know you're trying too hard. You know you're carrying all the weight. You know you're showing up for someone who isn't showing up for you. But most men ignore that feeling. Most men push it down because they think effort equals value. They think persistence equals love. They think if they just prove themselves, if they just stay patient, if they just hold the line a little longer, maybe she'll come around, maybe she'll open up, maybe she'll finally see their worth. Let me tell you something real, something I learned the hard way. A grounded man doesn't force connection, ever, because forced connection isn't connection. It's performance, it's scarcity, it's fear dressed up like love. See? The second you start performing for someone's attention, you've already lost your center. You've stepped out of your masculine frame. You've stepped into their world, their energy, their approval. And now, you're no longer leading. You're no longer grounded. You're chasing, and nothing kills respect faster than a man who chases what should be freely given. Here's the brutal truth. Real connection flows. It moves naturally. It breathes. And when it's there, you'll know. You won't be sitting around crafting the perfect text. You won't be analyzing your every move. You won't be walking on eggshells trying to unlock her interest. Because you won't need to. The conversation will feel light. The connection will feel mutual. Her effort will meet yours. Her energy will rise to yours. And if it doesn't, you don't force it. You don't beg for it. You don't sit there twisting yourself into knots hoping she sees you. You step back, calmly, quietly, without resentment, without anger. Because the grounded man, he doesn't take it personally. He doesn't spiral into self-doubt. He doesn't make her lack of effort a reflection of his worth. He understands people are where they're at. Some people are emotionally unavailable. Some people are guarded. Some people just aren't ready to connect deeply. And that's okay. But it's not your job to pull them out of that space. It's not your job to heal them. It's not your job to wait in the shadows hoping to be chosen. You've already chosen yourself. That's the Stoic way. You stand still. You hold your ground. You give space for real connection. But you never audition for love. A man who respects himself doesn't chase presence. He attracts it through peace, through patience, through unwavering clarity. He lets silence speak, and silence tells the truth. Because if she wants to know you, she will. If she wants to connect, she will. If she wants to meet you halfway, nothing will stop her. Effort isn't confusing. Interest isn't complicated. People invest where they care. People show up where they feel drawn. People stay where they feel safe and respected. And if she's not doing that, believe it, not with anger, not with pain, but with clarity, with acceptance and with peace. See, the grounded man doesn't lose sleep over someone else's distance. He doesn't lose his frame over silence. He doesn't start performing to fill the space. He lets the space reveal the truth, because real connection, real love, Real partnership, that flows from two people standing in their own strength, not one man dragging the relationship forward while the other person sits back watching. That's not connection, that's imbalance, that's weakness, and weakness is a man forgetting who he is. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are not here to earn love through exhaustion. You are not here to be a placeholder until she feels ready. You are here to stand firm, clear, unshaken. And if she matches you, good. If she doesn't, even better, because now you know, and knowing is power, knowing is peace, knowing saves you time. Let me leave you with this. Silence never lies. Watch for it, respect it, and let it guide you. Because the grounded man never forces love. He never begs for connection. He never auditions for respect. He simply lives in truth and lets what's real come to him. Number 3, she makes your life easier, not harder. Most men don't see it until they're already tired, worn down, exhausted from the inside out. Not from work, not from life, but from her. From a woman who doesn't add peace to their life, only noise. See, it doesn't always show up like a big dramatic fight. It doesn't always come crashing in with screaming and tears. No, most of the time, it sneaks in quietly. Little jabs, little games, a comment that makes you question yourself, a passive-aggressive joke that cuts deeper than it should, a random cold shoulder for no damn reason. And you sit there, wondering what you did wrong, wondering how you went from a man building his life to a man walking on eggshells in his own damn relationship. And I'll tell you how it happens. It starts with tolerance, with patience, with giving someone the benefit of the doubt, with excusing red flags as quirks or she's just emotional. But here's the hard truth a lot of men need to hear. A woman who truly wants you, a woman in her feminine, she brings peace, not chaos. She flows with you. She doesn't test your patience every damn day like it's a sport. She doesn't create storms just to see if you'll stay and clean up the mess. Because real feminine energy doesn't want to drain you. It wants to nurture you. It wants to support your mission, not distract you from it. A lot of men don't realize this until it's too late. They get stuck in a pattern. They confuse drama for passion. They confuse jealousy games for love. They confuse emotional instability for she just cares a lot. Brother, that's not care, that's control, that's insecurity wrapped in manipulation. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the weaker you get, the less focused you are, the more anxious, distracted, reactive. And before you know it, you're no longer leading your life. You're reacting to hers. This is how strong men lose their edge, not because they're soft, but because they've allowed the wrong energy into their space for too long. The Stoic response is simple. Clean your space, clean your mind, clean your life. Look at your relationship and ask one question. Is she making my life easier or harder? Does she support your goals or sabotage them? Does she calm your mind or fill it with doubt? Does she bring peace or bring chaos? Because here's what grounded men know. Love isn't supposed to be hard every damn day. Relationships take effort, but they should never cost you your peace. A woman who wants to be in your life, she will protect your peace like it's hers. She will help you build, not burn you out. She will challenge you to grow, but never in a way that tears you down, because feminine energy, real feminine energy, flows. It doesn't push, it doesn't pull, it doesn't play games. It moves toward strength, toward stability, toward clarity. And if you're living right, if you're leading your life with purpose, she will want to join you, not compete with you, not distract you, not test you, but stand beside you, walk with you, build with you. This is the standard. This is the code. And when you live by it, you stop settling for drama dressed up as desire. You stop confusing toxicity for love. You stop tolerating energy that drains you. You respect yourself enough to walk away from what doesn't bring peace, not in anger, not in bitterness, but in calm, powerful clarity. Because here's the thing, when your life is full of purpose, when your mission comes first, you simply don't have time for chaos. You don't have space for games. You don't have energy for anything. That pulls you away from your path. And a woman who's really for you, she knows that. She sees that, and she wants to support that, not because you told her to, not because you demanded it, but because your presence, your discipline, your steadiness, it naturally invites the right energy, and it naturally ripples the wrong one. Let me leave you with this. The right woman adds peace to your life, not problems. Never forget that. Never betray yourself for someone who makes your life harder. Walk in peace, live with purpose, and let everything that doesn't flow with that fall away, because a grounded man doesn't chase drama. He attracts peace, and he protects it like his life depends on it, because it does. There's a moment, every man faces it, when you wake up tired. Not tired from work, not tired from the gym, not tired because you stayed up late chasing your purpose. No, this is a different kind of tired. This is soul tired. This is that slow, heavy exhaustion that comes from living out of alignment with who you really are, from carrying something that was never yours to carry, from giving too much of yourself to someone who only takes. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. It starts small. You think it's nothing. You ignore it. You tell yourself relationships are supposed to be hard. You tell yourself love is supposed to hurt a little. But before you know it, you're drained. You're second-guessing yourself. You're walking on eggshells. You're reacting instead of leading. You've traded your peace for presence, her presence, and that is one of the greatest mistakes a man can make. See, the world will lie to you. It'll tell you that love is supposed to be chaotic, that passion means arguments, that jealousy means she cares, that fighting for love means staying no matter how much of yourself you lose. That's bullshit. That's a script for weak men. For men who forgot who they are, for men who think being chosen by a woman means they've made it. But I'm here to tell you the truth. Grounded man doesn't stay where he's drained. He doesn't stay where he's disrespected. He doesn't stay where he's confused, because confusion is not love. Chaos is not intimacy. Drama is not passion. Those are traps, emotional traps, built for men who know their value. So here's the Stoic response, the ancient wisdom, the hard truth that will save your life if you live by it. Look at your life. I mean, really look at it. Is she making it calmer, stronger, sharper? Or are you always tired, always anxious, always feeling like you're one wrong word away from another argument? That's not love, brother. That's bondage. That's control. That's fear, and fear is not the foundation of a strong man's life. Peace is, purpose is, clarity is. A real woman, a grounded, feminine woman. She makes your life better, simpler, clearer. She doesn't pull you off your path. She walks with you on it. She doesn't test your patience every damn day. She respects your time. She honors your presence. She brings calm to your storm. Not another storm to fight. And if that's not happening, if you're always tired, always drained, always doubting yourself, she's not for you. Simple as that. There's no argument here. There's no debate. There's no need to explain yourself 100 different ways. The man who respects himself walks away from what disturbs his peace without noise, without drama, without burning bridges. He just walks because he knows peace is everything. Without it, you're no good to anyone. Without it, you lose your clarity. Without it, you lose yourself. And no woman, no relationship, no temporary feeling of connection is worth losing yourself. Never. Let me say this slow, so you don't forget it. A man's peace is his power. Guard it, protect it. Walk away from anyone who threatens it, not because you're angry, but because you've built a life so steady, so full, so aligned, that chaos simply doesn't belong in your world. That's what a stoic man does. That's what a grounded man lives by. He doesn't need to shout. He doesn't need to explain. He doesn't need to prove a damn thing. He just stands firm, in peace, in power, in purpose, and the right people will feel it, and the wrong people will fade away, as they should. So I'll leave you with this. If she's not making your life calmer, stronger, sharper, she's not for you. Simple as that. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. Let me leave you with this. Everything I've told you today, it's not strategy, it's not a game. It's not about lines or tactics or playing hard to get. This is about truth, about reality, about the way a grounded man moves in the world. Because a real woman, a woman worth your time, your energy, your heart, she doesn't respond to noise. She doesn't respond to performance. She responds to presence, to steadiness, to clarity. She respects the man who respects himself first. She invests in the man who invests in his mission. She brings peace to the man who protects his peace without compromise. But here's what most men forget. None of that starts with her. It starts with you. It starts when you stop looking outward for validation, when you stop waiting for someone to choose you, when you stop bending your values just to keep someone around. It starts when you build yourself brick by brick, in silence, in solitude, in discipline, when you cut away what weakens you, when you walk away from what drains you, when you protect your mind like you protect your life, because your life is your mind, and the man who owns his mind owns his world. Brother, this is self-rebuilding, slow, quiet, relentless, no audience, no applause, no instant reward. Just you, your habits, your mission, your peace, day by day, hour by hour, brick by brick, and in that silence, something happens. You stop chasing, you stop begging, you stop tolerating, and you start attracting, not because you're performing, but because you've become a man who doesn't need to, a man who stands, a man who builds, a man who leads, a man who protects his peace like his life depends on it, because it does. So I'll leave you with this. Comment below. I rebuild in silence. Let that be your vow. Send this to a brother who needs to hear it, because iron sharpens iron, and weak men get washed away in this world. But you're not here to be weak. You're here to stand, to build, to lead, quietly, powerfully, relentlessly, in peace.